Hello everyone, in today's video I was going to be continuing my Tears of the Kingdom playthrough series. Right now I did one of those Minecraft memes where I grinded off camera and looted one of those Baku camps, which I got some decently powerful weapons, as you can see by my inventory, including this luminous stone cutlass hammer. It's made of a moblin arm and a luminous stone, but it does 49 damage, which is actually pretty overpowered. But it has low durability, so it's going to be like an emergency weapon. In the last video we unlocked Tulin, the Sage of Wind, which now can create gusts of wind, which we can use for a paraglider. I also went ahead and got another stamina wheel, another stamina vessel. So basically I did a few things. I also got the Hylian trousers off camera and made a bit of money. I just wanted to do that stuff to kind of prep for the next video. We're going to teleport to the Lookout Landing first. Alright, we're at the Lookout Landing, which now we're going to go to the mini stable, depending if they've opened it or not. I need to do their side quest. It's pretty easy. Oh, also, I also got some inventory slots of Hestu over there, that quirk. Just gotta fix this for them. Just gotta put this little bit of roof in there. It's a pretty simple side quest, so you can unlock the mini stable. Alright, now we got this little mini stable here, which once he sits down, we're going to talk to him. A fun little thing is if you had horses in Breath of the Wild, you'll find them in Tears of the Kingdom. Since this is our first time, we got a pony point, which we can get our reward, although we'll have to go to a main stable in order to get it. Horse one was the one we got the other day, and we have 4 spur, you can see by the name, and a few unregistered slots. They give the player 6 of them by default. For the first 5 are for their default horses in Breath of the Wild, and the 6th one is for the Tears of the Kingdom game, of course. I use 4 spur since she'll be decently fast for this. If you look over there, you might spot that ring over there. That ring's going to be where Kakariko Village is. So that's just a little tip to getting you there. Now we're just going to continue on. I'm actually going to get Link's Hylian trousers equipped, and I'm just seeing what weapons I want to use, just in case I run into any enemies. The higher the armor number, the less damage the player will take from enemies. So that's kind of how that works, basically. Which is my current best gear that I could get. I'm going to see if I can go get that shrine over there. The player's going to need a certain amount of these. If you want to, you could help the guy named Addison by holding up his signs for him. You have to create, basically things for the sign to lean on. But the different signs have different shapes, so you have to kind of make the, supporting beam proper for it. There's a pink cherry blossom tree here, which I'll show you what that does in a second. This episode's probably going to be mostly wandering around and trying to get to Zoro's domain. Well, here's the tree. Which, if we put an apple, or pretty much any fruit in here, you'll see what happens. It's going to do a cutscene. My horse is a little bit in the way. That happens sometimes. But Satori, the creature that was on that mountain, has now revealed to us different cave locations, which I could see one far in the distance. The one closest to us right now that you could see, that's the one we're going to be heading to, just because there's a special item the player can get there. The horse will try to eat the apple, of course, because, it's a horse, but yeah. I try to bring the horse with us. Now, this next part's a bit risky, so yeah, we're just going to be careful of this. But as you can see, by the looks of it, there's a battle talus over there, which is a stone talus with some Baku camps built on it. The reason we're going into this cave is for a special treasure we can unlock. Now we just gotta run out of the way. If you need to, you can leave the horse behind, because they're not going to target the horse, they're only going to try to attack Link. But as you can see, we're going to head over here. Pretty sure there's a Wizard Robe in the area, so be careful of him. As you can see, there's a fire wizard robe. Which now we're going to be entering this cave. If you can, you could shoot those with bomb arrows to get their key eyeballs, but it's not necessary. Oh yeah, there's a stone talus in here. Definitely want to be careful of that. I'm pretty sure he could be avoided though. So I'm going to try to avoid him just because I really don't want to get into any big major fights. We need to mine that luminous stone. Hopefully he didn't hear that. I'll have my sound turned off. Although it doesn't affect the game sound. Here it is. Some bomb flowers, of course. Those are always helpful. But most importantly, the Barbarian armor. This will have one less defense than the Royal Guard's armor, well, in its current state, but it makes the player do more attack damage. Alright, for my current position, I could head to the stable, which that's actually what I'm going to do. Which basically you're just going to want to grab that Barbarian armor because it's actually pretty helpful. Including the stable, because it's like in the middle of a bunch of areas that the player needs to go to. Which that would of course be the woodland stable up ahead. Which you can see the smoke for it over there. At least we have the wind ability so we can fly. The dock over there has been increased, as you can see. Which in this episode we're trying to go to Zora's Domain. Also, if we do go to Zora's Domain, that's when we use the ancient arowana fish I've been telling y'all to save for a few videos now. Here we go, we have the woodland stable. This cart and those NPCs over there have a side quest for the player, but I'm not too concerned with that right now. Maybe I'll do like a separate video series showing those side quests. Be careful because sometimes I'm pretty sure there's a block that falls here. Dazzle fruit. This will blind enemies basically when you use it on them. Alright, now we're going to head back to the stable because we're going to get our horse. This road right here, will be coming back to this road later in the series. Alright, we're just going to fly over here. At this point you probably saw that blue spotlight over there, which that's Kilton, the one that sells you all the monster masks and stuff like that. You could go over there if you want to. Although I'm just going to be skipping it to make the video go faster. I might do that off camera. Now we're going to be heading towards Zora's Domain. Alright. There should be a bridge nearby, which is kind of like the path the player would have taken if they had ridden the horse through it. There's a Hinox in that forest right there. See him? Now I'm going to keep on going. You would have had to go along this bridge pretty much to get over here. But we skipped that by getting the Barbarian armor inside of that cave, which we're able to skip some of the walking. I'm actually going to sit down in real life, although I have this really creaky chair, so I was kind of hoping not to have to worry about that. Alright, now we're going to go on this road. There's some constructs over there. You don't have to fight them, but you can if you want to. I just try to avoid fighting early game, just so that way I don't have to worry about enemies and stuff. I'll typically do it when I have enough gear. I mean, I do have enough gear to fight those guys, but it's just probably not a good idea since I'm on video. Just so that way it goes quicker. We're almost at the Zora's Domain area. Not sure if I'll be able to wrap up the entire dungeon and stuff in one video. Well, I'm going to kind of do probably what I did last time and get to the dungeon. Although for the Zora region, it's a lot harder than the Rito one. That's why I kind of made these in order of how hard and easy they are. Although in Breath of the Wild, the first game, I'd recommend going to Zora's Domain first. We're gonna go up this way. Normally down there's the normal route, but I'm not gonna do the normal route, mainly because they put enemies there and expect the player to kind of deal with it. Just gonna leave my horse here. There's no rain or anything, so we'll be good. And we're gonna go up this new convenient ladder that some NPCs built. As you can see, it's very convenient for our situation right now. And there aren't really too many enemies on this path, so we don't have to worry. I think the NPCs built this path because the main path for Zora's Domain is pretty much all... If you look over there, not sure if the camera will be able to see it. It's a little bit hard to see, but there was a landslide on the road right there, so you'd have to climb over that pretty much. I got the fox. Here we go. Which you may be wondering, what on earth is that? That is sludge. Basically just mud. Makes the player slower when they walk in it. It can be removed with regular choo-choo jelly, actually, because regular choo-choo jelly is the water element. There's also a special kind of fruit the player will find around here called splash fruit. Basically, that's what they want the player to use on this stuff. On my first time going through this, I'd assumed that the player took damage, so I never actually touched any of this stuff. But yeah. Till I learned that it was literally just mud. Alright, now we're going to continue on, which is another one of those cherry trees. If you gave that one fruit, it'd light up all the caves around the Zora area. That's kind of how those work. We're just using this to get a good advantage to fly over. So, here we go. This is a good spot. Area directly beneath us is the Zora Lake with all the Octoroks. Although now, you probably saw that. That's a bunch of that mud falling. There's a pine cone. Those are always helpful. Basically, we're just kind of doing this off-road because the actual road they expect the player to do. Which, as you can see, there's a really powerful enemy there that I want to get out of the way of as quick as I can because he will literally one-shot me. So I gotta run. I hope he's still not following me. I don't see him, but yeah. Alright, you all may recognize this area as soon as I get up here. This is where that well was with the cork seed. Well, the player can actually go inside of that well and explore now. As you can see, here's some more of the road that kind of landslided, which we're just going to do what we did in Breath of the Wild and skip this, which is actually easier with Tulin's ability. Seeing the mushroom right now reminded me, I also cooked some meals off camera as well. Thought I'd just mention that. There's a stone lake. You won't be able to get rid of him unless you have a hammer. Also watch out so they don't swallow you. If they do, they'll steal your weapons like they did in older Zelda games. This area is probably going to be familiar. I had this lucky spawn and found this block here right now, although I'm not actually going to use it just to kind of show you all the proper route, so that way you're not always expecting a block to fall in that one spot. But the enemies here you might remember, because I'd like to leave some of my old weapons behind and take some new weapons here, if you all remember. There's another one of those powerful enemies, which I'm just going to be running past, because he can one-shot me. That watchtower one noticed me, but not for long. Okay, this bridge now. This bridge we're going to want to be careful, because there's a boss bokoblin there, and this one looks extra mean. Which you can see more of that sludge falling here. I'm basically going to have to fight these enemies, so this is going to be hard. As you can see, it's a boss bokoblin with a bunch of smaller ones. Hopefully this goes well. Personally, I haven't fought this guy enough times. Well, at least this one on the bridge. I'm just mainly trying to get rid of his smaller minions. Which, mission accomplished. Now we just have the big one to deal with. Oh, he barely did any damage at all. And he caught himself on fire with a tiny stick beneath him. You know, this fight was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. But now I got a blue boss bokoblin horn, which adds 16 attack damage to the weapon. Although the Lizalfos I said earlier that could one-hit kill us actually would do, his horn would do more damage. I'm gonna save the spiked iron ball for better fights. Pretty sure the weapon that he had actually did more damage. Yeah, it does 2 extra attack damage. Blue Bokoblin horns from when I blew them all up. And here's a Lizalfos. I don't think I've defeated any Lizalfos on here. No, I did not. So, first time getting the horn. I drop a Lizalfos arm which does 22 attack damage, although you don't technically need it. Although it's kind of like the Moblin arm where it breaks real fast. There's another landslide over here, so now we're just going to be running while climbing past this. Which you'll probably recognize as areas where all those mushrooms used to be. Still a few more, but yeah. You can see the Mount Lanayru sky view tower over there, which is basically the same thing as the Breath of the Wild ones. I'm getting red choo-choo jelly because I'm using the flame spear on them. Which is another landslide here. I'm pretty sure the Zoras put up a sign that says there's a lot of landslides on the road. Alright. There's a Bokoblin here. Doesn't look like there's any more. Oh wait, no, there's another one. From this angle, you could just fly down over there and get to Zora's domain. But, however, there's something I forgot over here. Like, literally, you just go fly down there, walk all the way over to Zora's domain. Pretty simple. Although, there's something I actually forgot to show you all earlier. That would actually save you a lot more time. I forgot that the blue boss Bokoblin could be skipped. So I'll show you all the alternative route right now. Here we go, I was waiting for the wind ability to load. Here we go. And yes, that is dirty water. Doesn't damage the player, but still. I got some rupees right now from that bloopy enemy. Although they cheap the player out in this game versus Breath of the Wild. So basically this is where I got that block that you'd find that earlier when I said that you'd find that block, and I got a lucky spawn and found it there. However, you could, the other alternative, which is actually a lot more effective, is to go up and around this hill, which you don't really need any stamina upgrades for. It's just that you'll be resting for a lot longer. Which now we're going to go into that cave. Here's the splash fruit I was telling you all about. As you can see, here it is. This one's basically a water balloon, so it's actually pretty funny to use on enemies. Although it wouldn't actually damage them. This gem, Nintendo would want the player to build a boat here and go against the current and take it to the shrine over there. Well, I'm just going to skip it to make the video go by faster. As you can see, we're up here now. We got one of these Fleet Lotus seeds. Here's another one of these sky blocks that we could use. There's more of that mud spawning. I'm kind of see if I can do it without the sky block, just to make it fair on you all. Basically, we're just gonna climb up. These blocks that fell on the sides, you can get on top of these and use them for a rest stop while you're climbing. You have some splash fruit now. It's actually, well, I've seen that it's more effective to just climb slowly versus jumping into Tears of the Kingdom. I think somebody had proved this theory. Well, I forgot who. And that, of course, slows Link down. If you went to the end of that cave, you probably could have ascended and would have taken you to the top of the tower. Although I haven't done this game in a little while. As you can see, there's more of the sludge here. It's better to just walk around it for now, because otherwise you'll be using up all your splash fruit. Some of those Keese enemies over there, as you can see. But we're making our way to the tower. The better option would have been to go through that cave, although I forgot about it. I forgot about that. But that's fine, because it's not really that big of a climb. Which, if you do take this route, you will be able to get to the Skyview Tower, which that will unlock the map for this area. More of that splash fruit. It has more than just splashing enemies. If you splash enemies with it and then hit them with a shock fruit, which I'm not sure if I unlocked that on this account yet, but it'll make a huge ball of electricity which will damage a lot of enemies. As you can see, here's the Skyview Tower. More free splash fruit. And there's a Zora trapped under this stuff, which, as you can see, we just helped them out. And get rid of the spear, because I believe their reward is a spear. It used to be his, but he's now giving it to the player. Alright, more of the splash fruit. Now, the cool thing about the Zora Spear is when the player is wet, like let's say you splashed yourself with a splash fruit, which I'm going to do that as an example right now. Link is wet now, which it does 12 damage. So basically it does double the damage when the player is wet. Which is actually pretty helpful. Now we're going to get this activated. Good view of Zora's domain, if I say so myself. And you can see the Death Star here. No, I'm just kidding. Which we can actually go inside of it, depending on which side had the entrance. Which that would be here. Which, there's a shrine in the Death Star. The Death Star is from Star Wars, by the way, if you didn't know. Just gotta grab it and remove the fan. There you go, now this fan isn't gonna be messing around with this thing. Push it this way. We're going to get the entrance over here, so that way we can exit and get to Zora's domain. There's a good view of the sun from here. Well, it's probably bright on my camera. Right now we can head to Zora's domain, which you can see the Arrokuda enemy trying to get me, except that he can't. Which are, of course, first things first, going to get the shrine. As you can see, Zora's domain's been greatly affected by the sludge. You can see all the water down here is dirty. Alright, time to activate the shrine. Which now we can use the staircase to get up. As you can see, there's a lot of sludge falling, which is more of it coming down. Basically now the player is going to hit the statue with a splash fruit and reveal that it's Link and Sidon. Now we're talking to them. Alright, now we're going to head up all the way up there. Well, first we need to go to the caretaker of the Zora, which will be up here, and we're finally going to use the ancient Arowana fish. It's needed to repair the Zora armor, because it's been damaged. All those times Link have worn it in Breath of the Wild and taking damage probably damaged it. No, I'm just kidding. Which now we're going to give it to her. Alright, we got the Zora armor restored, which has 3 defense and allows us to climb up waterfalls. Of course, the Zora armor can be upgraded. Although now we're going to head to the top. We're basically heading to the area where the Lynel used to be. You can see more of the sludge falling in the water. On this side the water's clean because they built dams down there, which you can see the effect on the map. So now we're going to climb the waterfalls. If the player jumps in water and then gets out of the water, they still qualify as wet, which then lets the player's spear do double damage, because I'm using the Zora spear. As you can see, it does 12 damage right now. If a weapon is glowing blue with its damage, like the soldier blade, that's because I'm using a Zonite longsword. The Zonite weapons will add extra damage depending on what you add to them, which in this case would be the construct horns and different devices, like this flame emitter being on this Zonite sword. The Zora spear, of course, has wetness damage, and there are other sequences where the player will be able to do more damage depending on what weapon combination they use. Alright, now we're going to climb up. Now we're just going to keep climbing. Like I said, we're getting to the top. Before we get to the top, we should head down here, which as you can see is a waterfall. Which the player will see where this is right now. This is where the king is being kept. Alright, we talked to him. I thought he was going to give us an item needed for the dungeon right now, although we'll have to come back to him later. But they give the player the waterfall here to get back up, so that's the good thing. You could probably tell at this point, but you can control where you go with the Zora armor. In this case, we're moving to the right side. There's a Hyrule Bass here. Actually, can't believe I haven't gotten one of those yet on this account. It's like the most common fish. Yeah, we're gonna get the shrine first, just because, you know, it's like a necessity. But you can probably guess what's wrong with this one. So we just gotta clean it off. As you can see, it's been activated. Which, yeah. There's gonna be some more cutscene stuff that I'll be just skipping right now. Now we gotta go to the Toto Lake, which is just nearby. I think I'll do that on this video. That'll probably be like one of the last things I do on this video, just because the time's kind of going up. We're gonna have to fly past this enemy camp. As you can see, it's a big one with a lot of enemies. More of that splash fruit, that's always helpful. Alright. We're gonna need the splash fruit right now. Which we're going to be uncovering this. Which we just got to put his piece in there. He just tell you that he's missing the piece for this and we need to put it in. I already know what to do. Alright, now that we've done that. Well, I said I'd end the video here. I could actually go get the thing from the king really quick. While I'm off camera, I guess y'all can also grind it too, and try to defeat more enemies and get more food items and stuff like that. Now we gotta go talk to the King Zora to get the item I was telling y'all about earlier. Alright, here's the entrance for it. Now we're going to fly on down. It's a pretty big cave. Now he's given us 5 King's Scales. Well, that's where I'm going to leave off on this video. Well anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Goodbye.